Hello and welcome. I am John Dexter. Today I'm going to be doing a fairly short little video on how I converted this image here into this here. Now this was taken in the New Forest the other day down by the river, and I thought it had potential when I saw the composition. And when I got it home and looked at it on the computer, I really liked it. I loved the shape of this tree with the reflection. I love the softness in the branches, and I love these ferns. And I just think this is an image that I could sort of go somewhere with. So I put it into iColorama, which I do a lot of my editing in, which is an Apple app, which is just under £5. I'd recommend anybody who does this sort of work to get the app. It's just truly amazing the things that you can do with it. I'm going to run through with you the stages that I went through and my thought process, basically, as I say, how I ended up with this final image. So let's open this up in iColorama. Now I must say straight off the bat that this is probably going to take me 5-10 minutes, no more, to show you how I did this process. But you must appreciate that it probably took me 2 or 3 hours to do, mainly because you sort of try different things and you have to sit and look at it and think where you want the image to go, see what sort of style you want it to be. So as I say, although it's only going to take me a few minutes to show you how I did it, it was actually 2 or 3 hours to process it. So anyway, this is the image. Now the first thing I wanted to do was play around with the colours. So I went into the various presets, and I ended up picking number 16, if I can find it, which is that. Now I thought that really did transform the image, and I absolutely love the pastel-y colours in there. So that really was a good starting point for me. I'm just going to apply that setting, so that is now saved. Now one of the I think wonderful features in iColorama, one called Glow, and sometimes it really does suit the image and it really makes it. Other times it absolutely ruins it. The darker the image, the less chance you've got of it working. But I tried it on this and it was a little bit on the severe side. So I turned the opacity down to 50%, which seemed to really work for that. Now, I didn't really want this setting on the ferns itself. So what I did, I went into my brush mask, and I'm just brushing out the ferns. Now I can turn on that show, and it shows you where the mask is. So I just sort of brushed out those ferns because I really didn't want that, and I also brushed out this part down here because I really like the reflection of the ferns in the water, and I didn't really want those sort of obliterated by this setting. So I came over to the trees. So I was happy with that. We'll turn that off. So that has now sort of made the ferns pop again. So we're going to save that setting there. When you actually, if you do a brush mask, before you open up another stage, after you've saved it or applied it, you have to go back into your steps and reopen it. Otherwise that mask will remain on the image for your next settings. Now I didn't really like this white area up in the top left hand side, so I wanted to darken that down, but I really wanted it to make it roughly the same colour as the right hand side. So I went through all my colour presets again until I found one that was roughly the same colour, and it actually ended up being number 40, if I can find that, which is that. So if I just click on the before and after, that's before and that's after, so you can see it's just making the left hand side top of the image a little bit on the darker side to match the rest. So I like that, but I didn't want that affected on the rest of the image. So again, we open up our brush mask, and I'm going to paint in the whole lot at the moment. So I'm going to delete the setting on the whole image. If I put on the show, you can see that it's deleted the whole lot. And what I'm going to do now is click on the erase brush, and I'm going to paint that back in this particular area that I want it darkened down. So we're going to go there. I just want it slightly over the tree, about there, but I don't want it into the ferns, so we're going to come back, reduce the brush size slightly, and we're just going to make the ferns. So turn that off. So as you can see, it has now made the top left hand corner pretty much the same as the rest of the image. It's darkened it down a bit. So if I do a before and after, that's before, that's after, that's before, that's after. So I like that. So we're going to apply that setting again, and as I say, we have to now go into steps and reopen it because we've used the brush mask. Now the final thing that I really wanted to do with this is the trees on the right hand side. If you follow my work, you'll know that most of it is most of my images are soft, put it that way. I think that's a better way of doing it. And I didn't particularly like these sort of trees on the right hand side, top right hand side. So I wanted to sort of blur those a little bit. And there's a setting in iColorama called Scarp. So if you press on Scarp, you see it's sort of, let me do again before and after. So that's after, that's before, after, before, after. And if you look at the top right hand side, forget the rest of the image, but the top right hand side, I think it just sort of softens it a little bit. But I didn't really want it quite that much, so I'm going to reduce it probably to about 75%. And I've now got to delete that setting off the rest of the image because I only want it on the top right hand corner. So again, we're going to open up the brush mask, and to make it easier, I'm going to completely delete that setting from the whole image, which you can see I've done. And now I'm going to press the erase brush, and I'm just going to paint back in this, turn the brush size down slightly, this top right hand corner. Turn that off. So as you can see, now press before and after. That's before, that's after, before, after. It's just softened the trees in that top right hand corner. And to be perfectly honest, I was perfectly happy with this image as it was now. So you can see the thought process I went through this. So we first of all changed the colour, and then we just tweaked the colours in various parts of the image to darken them down a little bit and just soften the image off a little bit. So we're going to save that. I'm going to apply that, and we're going to save that and open it up in Capture NX2 and just do a couple of little tiny tweaks in there. So here we are in Capture NX2, And the first thing I did, I went through the sort of various settings to see if I could improve on the image. And there wasn't a great deal I did, but I came into saturation and I just gave it a little bit +10 saturation, which didn't do a lot, but it did. Let me turn it on and off. That's off, that's on. A very, very, very minor adjustment, but I thought that improved it slightly. The second thing I did was I just cropped it a little bit because I wanted to just sort of bring the top area, this tree, just so it came to the top of the page basically. So that's without it cropped, and that's with it cropped. Very, very tiny crop, as I say. And the final thing I did was a high pass filter, which is basically just it sharpens the image very, very slightly. You probably won't even see a great deal of difference, but I thought it might sort of sharpen the ferns a little bit. And do you know what? That was it. Quite a simple process, as I say. It did take me a few hours to do. I did actually make one originally, and I didn't delete this section down here when I put the glow setting on, which sort of rather sort of softened this area a little bit too much. So I actually went back in and started all the stages over again, and sort of deleted that glow setting off this area here. So yeah, it was a fairly straightforward process, but I thought the end result I was very, very pleased with. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. So I think that's about it. Until the next image that I actually like, which might be some time. And oh yeah, one thing I must say is I put a video up saying that I was going to have to be putting my prices up on the prints that I sell, but I was giving everybody an opportunity for about a month to buy them at the old price, which if you go onto my website you'll see what they are. And I've had such a terrific response from it. I'm so chuffed. So I will hold that for a few more weeks before I put the prices up. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Until the next time, this is John Dexter saying bye for now.